had a couple of families living in the middle of Barry, Harrington Avenue. They were very strong anarchists, and they were very violent people, always trouble. Every Saturday night there'd be a party, and generally ended up in a fist fight, you know? And they were bad men with knives. They did a lot of their talking with their knives. But I was only 9, 10, 11 years old, so I don't remember too good. But, of course, like we say, the good people didn't have nothing to do with them.
I am an antichrist. I am an anarchist. I know what I want and I know how to get it. I want to destroy passerby.
Why has this situation and condition come about in our country? It is because those in high public office have kowtowed to every anarchist group that have roamed the street.
Anarchy in the USA is coming sometime, maybe. I give a wrong time, stop a traffic line. Future dream,
First, we must distinguish between the moderate and the radical, between the activist and the anarchist. This is critical. There's a difference between the two, and all of us must recognize it. The activist is seriously dedicated to social change. He knows this change will be difficult, but he believes it must come in a peaceful manner. The anarchist seeks only ruin and destruction, and he rides a tidal wave of terror.
Extremists are extremists, white, black, or whatever they are. And extremism is the midwife of anarchy.
Anarchism?
Anarchism, oh my goodness. Taking over by the government, by the people and the government. I really don't know. I know it's all a big mess.
What's anarchism?
Anarchism is when anyone does whatever they want without concern for anyone else.
What kind of image does that evoke for you?
Chaos.
What's anarchism? I would say that it's a person trying to push his views down everybody's throat.
What do you think? And what do you think?
Anarchy, yes, I think I'd agree with that. It's a dominant view of one person over everyone else.
Do you know anyone who's an anarchist now?
Yes, I do.
Who's that?
The Ayatollah Khomeini.
Another conference, which a friend of mine is organizing in Montpellier. Montpellier.
I was surprised I was able to even sit for one or two of those speeches.
He taught a class on God, and he gave me the Hannah Hawk and Raoul Hausman and some of the John Hartfield and Ultra Man Ray fanatic.
Oh, I think it is very, very necessary to remain in my country and to act in my life.
Yeah.
Yes,
I've thought of it often.
What originally attracted me to anarchism? I wasn't attracted. I was conscripted. No, I was born into an anarchist family, and anarchism was like mother's milk to me, right? Everybody talked about it all the time when I was a child.
No, I don't think that Marx would ever have converted to other ideas I had. He was too authoritarian for that.
I think he was quite set in his ways.
Yes, unfortunately.
I think anarchism to most people does mean bomb throwing. The first, but they don't know that it's an idea at all, and a whole political philosophy and a moral philosophy.
Are you here at the symposium? Are you an anarchist?
Am I an anarchist? I have studied all kinds of philosophical and political systems. I don't think I'd live up to any of them, but I do believe in personal freedom. And I believe that in order to change anything, you have to change yourself. So I don't know if that's anarchy.
Almost anyone, I suppose, could call himself or herself an anarchist if he or she believed that society could be managed without the state. And by the state, I don't mean the absence of any institutions, the absence of any form of social organization. The state really refers to a professional apparatus of people who are set aside to manage society, to preempt the control of society from the people. So that would include the military, judges, politicians, representatives who are paid for the express purpose of legislating, and an executive body that is also set aside from society. So anarchists generally believe that whether as groups or individuals, people should directly run society.
This is a clip from one of our first films, Inciting to Riot. We made it back in 1969 when we were in college and members of Transcendental Students, or TS.
Let me ask you a question now. I've heard a lot about TS, and I know that you're not into heavy doctrinaire like other radical groups. Can you elaborate on the politics of TS at all?
Yeah, well, like last year we had freakouts and stuff, and that was like taking over the South Study Hall, which was illegal in terms of the university, and just letting people do their own lifestyle thing in South Study Hall, and then the cops were called in to get us out of there. So it's challenging authority, but not like in a really heavy way. It's like creating free space so people can do their thing, and you know, if the cops come, and we leave, you know, guerrilla style, and go somewhere else. But you know, that kind of thing, we don't try to take people and push them anywhere. We try to create space where they can do their own thing.
All right, that's really groovy. Okay, now, if you can make one distinction between TS and SDS, what would you say that is?
I guess we're anarchists.
Transcendental Students was our introduction to anarchism. At first, it simply meant rebelliousness, anti-authoritarianism, a way of directly confronting the war makers. But as we became increasingly active, our understanding of anarchism changed, and we discovered that anarchism had a colorful past and a legacy that was laced with drama and tension.
In Spain, during the Civil War of 1936, 3 million peasants and workers rallied under the banners of the anarchist organizations, the CNT and the FAI, to fight the fascist uprising in Barcelona. Spanish anarchists organized a whole system of production and distribution, substituting barter for money and shop committees instead of bosses or central committees.
Anarchist militias went to fight at the front, with soldiers free to come and go as they pleased. Collectives established libraries, free schools, and cultural centers, often in former churches or villas of the wealthy. For 3 years, anarchism existed in Spain. It was the culmination of nearly a century of agitation and organization that had created movements throughout Europe, Russia, and Latin America.
But there's also been a tradition of anarchism in the United States. In fact, there's an interesting theory that says the American temperament reflects many of the qualities that anarchism idealizes: distrust of government, suspicion of authority, and a belief in the plain old do-it-yourself ethic. So in the summer of 1980, we packed our gear into one of America's own cultural creations, an RV, and set out to explore anarchism in America.